Hi sports fans, and welcome back to the Betting Expert channel here on YouTube. My name is Adam, and today we're looking ahead to this weekend where we have some UFC action going down. It is UFC Vegas number 13, where we have Thiago Santos against Glover in the main event. Should be a pretty fun night, so without further ado, let's get straight into some of my best bets and some of my leans for this great card. Before we get into my best bets for UFC Vegas 13, let's have a quick look back at how I did for UFC 254, Gaethje versus Nurmagomedov. We actually went 2-1 that night, so that was a fairly successful night of betting for us. You can also follow me and get all my picks for free, of course, on Betting Expert. You can check out the link to my profile in the description. Let's get on with my UFC Vegas 13 best bets. Let's get this started with a two-fighter parlay with Giga Chikadze and Brendan Allen. Should give us odds of around 2.2. That's plus 120 on the money line. Couple of reasons I'm going to be going into why I like Brendan Allen to beat Ian Heinisch, currently a pick'em fight. First of all, 3-inch reach advantage and 3-inch height advantage for Brendan Allen, who is also the younger fighter here by 7 years. Looking at the stats historically, that is pretty significant. On top of that, we have Brendan Allen, really a grappling phenom. Just beat Kyle Daukaus, another grappling phenom. He really knows how to handle himself on the ground. If he gets in compromising situations, he knows how to reverse position or simply defend himself, get back to his feet, whatever, to really avoid getting submitted or succumbing to defeat on the ground. On the feet, he is no slouch either. Positive strike differential, not a lot of volume, but don't be fooled because he hasn't really gone to a decision in a stand-up bout as of yet. So his numbers might be a bit skewed in that way. Now looking at Ian Heinisch, his opponent, a pretty simple fighter if you ask me. Decent grappling defense, but he does have tendencies in his grappling defense, which I think can be exploited if you have the right strategy. He does tend to stick to the same roll maneuver to get out of grappling situations. Those type of escape attempts can leave you open to submissions, and if you're not careful with a guy like Brendan Allen, he'll get a hold of one of your limbs and submit you. And also, we have seen Ian Heinisch take L's against grapplers before. We saw him lose to Derek Brunson, and we saw him lose to Omari Akhmedov. So two grapplers that he has lost to. I think that the young fighter here in Brendan Allen can get the nod on the scorecards or even finish the fight inside the distance. And then of course we have Giga Chikadze, the second fighter on this parlay. Pretty much just straightforward, a bank bet for me. He's coming up against James Krause, who is a UFC debutant. Not much to say. Krause has fought in only very small promotions against much lower levels of competition. This is a huge step up in competition for him. I can't stress that enough. Giga Chikadze, super dangerous, super experienced on the feet, positive strike differential, very large toolbox, and his grappling defense is only getting better. And he has actually managed to beat good grapplers in the UFC before. I think in his first two UFC fights, he actually got taken down a combined of 5 times, and his striking was still sufficient to get him across the finish line and give him the nod on the scorecards. I think that's good enough for me, and he has a huge height advantage in this fight, upwards of 7 inches, I do believe, which is super significant, especially when you are the one who wants to stay on your feet. Being much taller and much longer just gives you a better center of gravity and will make it harder for Krause to get this fight to the mat. And let's not forget, Cross needs to consistently get this fight down and keep top position to actually win on the scorecards, because on the feet he has very, very low chance. It has a very, very low chance. So that's my first bet, a 2-fighter parlay. Moving on to the main event of the evening, Thiago Santos versus Glover. I like Santos, the favorite in this fight, for a couple of reasons I'm going to be going into. First of all, he is actually unbeaten at light heavyweight, outside of his fight with Jon Jones, where he did, though, manage to win 2 out of 5 rounds with a knee injury. Other than that, very, very good numbers if we look at striking, actually landing twice double as much as he absorbs, so that's a very great positive striking differential for us there. We like that going into the stats. Other than that, decent striking defense. 5-year age advantage in this fight against Glover Teixeira, who is going to be 42 years of age soon. We know those fighters tend to lose more than they win when they start to go into that late stage of their career. And actually, Santos, going into detail on Santos' power, because he does have a lot of power, which he also carries into the later rounds. Teixeira is a guy who usually needs to survive the early danger of his opponents. We've seen that against Cutelaba, Anthony Smith, and I do believe he got dropped against Colin Robertson also. So really a guy who has been seriously hurt or wobbled in 3 of his last 5 fights. That's not good statistically, going up against a guy like Thiago Santos, because those guys that he has faced, they're the type of guys that only has power in the first round. And then we go into another tendency of Glover's, because he does tend to start to pressure after the first round. And we've seen that Santos actually has very, very dangerous hands and very dangerous counter shots on his back foot. We saw that against Jan Blachowicz, where he knocked out the current champion. So I do think that mixing all the advantages together in one large pot for Santos just gives me the idea that he wins this fight 8 out of 10 times. Even though the money has been coming in on the Santos sides, I think honestly that the value is still on his side in this matchup. And I just think that Glover's age means that he has started his decline. So all in all, I like Santos, the favorite, to get it done on Saturday night in the main event. I would also say that Santos is actually pretty underrated in the sense that he throws quite a lot of leg kicks and quite a lot of body kicks. He's not just a striker who goes for the head. He is actually quite well-rounded in that sense, and he does always know how to go for takedowns if he is in a compromised situation. You can watch the Jimmy Manuwa fight to get a sense of what I'm talking about here. If he's in danger or in a compromising situation, he knows how to get a takedown, and he knows how to fare and do in the grappling area. So I think that he pretty much outmatches Glover in most areas of fighting, and I think that he will get his hand raised in the main event of UFC Vegas number 13.